Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the WGLNA Season 3 Qualifier number 2. We're in the finals, and the teams are just completing their coin flip to determine which side they will spawn. It looks like the first map will be Proharovka. I'm Clutch, joined by Greetorp and Rookhill on the set. This is Greetorp's final night, his final match we're going to have for World of Tanks. So we're going to say our goodbyes on air to him. So if you're in chat, make sure to follow him on Twitter at Greetorp, G-R-E-T-O-R-P, and say your fond farewells there. And we're going to have some dinner tonight as well. And what better way to say goodbye than a feast, if you will.
That's what it's going to be.
I'm so hungry. I didn't want to spoil it at all, so we had some cake earlier, and it was really good.
It's been a journey, man. I mean, 3 years doing this. It's been so much fun. I was talking about a lot of the experiences. Literally, like a completely brand new scene, right? 3 years ago, nobody really knew about esports that much. I mean, Korea did, but that's about it.
Yep.
Esports wasn't a financial model that could really be pursued. And in just a very short time, 3 years is a very short time on a huge business level. We've seen massive amounts of mobilization. Wargaming, I think, has done an amazing job at that. I have to give kudos to them for just being able to make such a competitive game that's really, really fun to watch, to cast, and to talk about these fantastic tankers. And
to have a developer that is so inclined to listen to the community of players and also to the staff here and how we can make this better, and also allowing us to make the tools to make it better, such as a spectator client and everything else. And it's been very, very important because we want to make the most entertaining broadcast to everyone out there. And you have seen that in our segments. You see that in our commercials, especially pushing the group play starting January 2nd. I mean, it's fantastic to be a part of that. And Greetorp, you've been a huge part of that as well. And I'm looking forward to more things you have in the future.
Thanks, man.
And for more good things to happen to you.
I think I was the first official in North America, the first official esports caster. I'm
career-wise, like full-time.
Career-wise, in North America. I don't think there was another caster. Myself and a guy named In Control that also played StarCraft 2. I think we're the first two to actually have a job that paid full-time, and we were able to just do esports. I don't think there's any other game that started before.
I can maybe think of a couple games on the MLG Pro circuit,
but they were never full-time.
I don't know if they were full-time at all.
I don't think so.
I'm not sure. Sure.
Normally they contracted out, so I made waves. I sure hope I made waves. That's for sure.
Made starts, and now you have people that are following in your footsteps, such as Randall,
Rookhill,
who we hired on to be the expert here, and it's
Rookhill. How old were you when you started this?
Started this?
Yeah.
Still 21.
21.
Yeah.
Okay. So young.
I was 21. Where was I when I was 21? I think was I still in school? Yeah, I had to have been in school. I just graduated school.
That would make a lot of sense.
And then I turned 22. I got my first, no, not my first, but I guess my first long-term corporate job doing statistics and financial consulting. Doing a lot of pricing models. A lot of fun over there. But I gave that out after a year, so 23, I moved out here. So I was a little bit older than you, but 23, I moved out here. Now I'm 26. I'm an old man.
I know, man. I'm 27.
Oh my God, you are so old.
I know. 30 is looming around the corner. I must try to stay fit and get away from it. It looks like we're just about ready here, folks, for the finals. We apologize about the delay, but again, both these teams had matches earlier on, but we're ready. Battle number 1, Proharovka, the finals for qualifier number 2. Who's going to take it? Is it going to be T32 Best Tier 8 2013 or Victoria's Secret?
It's all going to come down to the tanks and the tankers. 2 T32s, different guns. T69, 2 1390s on the side of, that is, hold on, don't say it, guys. T32 Best, nope, it's not.
Red team is T32.
Yeah. It is Victoria's Secret, of course. I blanked on the name. Other side, we have 3 T32s and 2 1390s on the side of IS3 Best Tier 8 2013.
Oh, you did it.
It's IS3 Best Spaceship.
Best Spaceship. IS3 Best Spaceship.
Yeah.
By the way, Interstellar looks like a fantastic movie. It also looks like a great commercial for NASA. Okay, pushing out is 9 in the 1390 along with his battle buddy Edbot as they're going to go up to the F line. cruise around to the top, see what they can see, then pull back, hopefully not taking too much damage here as they're about to be reloaded.
They're going to do a drive-by wave. The high 9.
Shots fired right into the rock before the rock against Agamemnon.
That escalated quickly.
It did. Reload coming out of the T69 from that, though. Some dude's going to be pushing up as well.
I'm surprised they're going this aggressive. That is the blue team going this aggressive over to the west side. They have to realize it's 3 T32, so they have to be so careful because a push, an all-out brawl right now for that T69 would not bode all that well. You have a lot of burst that you can take out very, very fast, although it is some dude, and he's a boss.
And some dude is bouncing. Nope, he's just going to be going back and forth here. T32 does fire. It looks like that is not a direct hit. 9 sweeps over to the west side, jumping over to some dude in his T69. He may have a shot on one of the T32s here, so he creeps up, and he misses. Another shot to the ground, but Explosion Man 007 takes a hit in his T32.
You're not sure where they came from. I guess that might have been MFX. Tano Skywalker was on reload. Now they're just going to keep popping up and down, trying to get these hold-down shots.
Oh, wow, a lot of shots coming out from 9. Sublime Banana and Agamemnon take a lot of damage, though they're a little bit peppered. That HP advantage that we saw previously is no more. Although now they're putting damage on Tano Skywalker. This is not a good position. And just blows being traded. Tano Skywalker quite considerably low here.
Some dude takes a hit as well in the T32. He's at 1046 out of 1350. He backs up to get away from the firefight as Tano maybe moves up in his T32 to cover. Nothing's going to peek further down, but the T32 gets a shot on Edbot. Edbot taking a lot of damage, 424 of 1100.
Getting punished really badly here for a bad scout run from Edbot. He's trying to move all the way around the side, but Baxtaz is over there to spot him out this whole time. Edbot needs to be so careful. Cool Hammer moving on over. Nice rotation. And he sees Edbot doesn't have anybody back there to actually help him out. Now they're going to have a brawl. 2 shots away. Oh, 9's going to show up, but it's going to be enough. Cool Hammer is not able to put any shots out. Now down to 356. Will he go down? One more shot. 9's going to take it, and down he goes, but trades out with the other 1390. Edbot will go down at the same time.
Trade for both sides, but the HP factor is still so low for Victoria's Secret versus T32 Best Tier 8 2013. Sublime at 1060 did take a hit, but it's Explosion Man 007 that has not been hit for a while. And he has fallen back a little bit, waiting for these T32s to overcommit. That's not going to be the case, though, because they do not want to make that mistake. Some dude may actually push over to the west, but he's still waiting for a good shot on one of those T32s.
I like this, though. Agamemnon starting to rotate over to the west side, or the east side of the west side. And now, think, the 1390 over on the far side, 9, probably was clipping right now, so maybe they're going to try to push this.
Shots.
And some dude's going to get wrecked right now. Agamemnon going to get the closing blow. That's what they needed. Knowing that they had a small timing window, 9 was not loaded up there. Now Agamemnon should play a little bit more defensive, knowing that he's going to be reloaded very, very soon here.
Well, if that reloading is happening, 9 is trying to take advantage of that window. He sees some T32s, fires into Velatio. Velatio pulls back to don't know where the fire is from. Agamemnon tries to get a hit against 9. He does. 9 at 805. Agamemnon at 598. He falls back behind the cottage area. And 9 still behind the rocks. Had a good shot on those T32s, but not enough to have that relay damage. And still down one of the tier 8s. They cannot push in and overcommit. If they do, they will get cleaned up quickly. But 9 still has enough shots here to try to take down one of the T32s. But now it looks like Velatio is pushing across the way.
Oh yeah, Velatio going down to Tano Skywalker. He's at 5 to 74. No, he's going to actually take out MFX first. He's down to 329. Even T1 gets in here. Velatio, he doesn't care. He's just going to take the damage. Boom! Ram damage and an additional shot will clean up that T32. Tano Skywalker, the next one on the list.
Backtracks trying to get a couple shots at the back of the T32. 9 cleaves up Sublime Banana, but Explosion Man and Velatio to get that last shot. 9, the last tier 8 on the field, is going to get cleaned up here by the T32 team. And the T1 gets a couple more shots in as the last 2 T1 still left alive. Disruption all the way over to the east side, just at the crest of the hill here. Well, actually on the top of the hill almost. And his teammate Empro is all the way to the west, moving up to the north down the 2 line. It's a matter of time. 5 minutes and 4 seconds left on the clock for T32 to go for the flag cap and try to chase these guys down.
Plenty of time. No, they're all Hispano-Suizos, so those T32s are going to be all right.
They'd be all right even without
yeah,
the Hispano
that's
Suizos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking from the behind.
Only in a dream world, Andre.
Oh, ram damage. Agamemnon takes down one of the T1s. Still one still left alive. Disruption over on the hill. He's not going to be moving anywhere. staying in that bush cover. It's going to come down to a flag capture coming from T32 best tier 8.
No, you guys have taught me to believe in the T1. I mean, some crazy things can happen.
You got to be in the belief business when it comes
exactly,
to T1
man. I mean, how much armor does a T32 have in the rear?
The rear, I can't remember offhand, but the most important factor that I remember is the gun. The turret has 298
right?
millimeters.
Oh my
with
God,
space.
With the mantlet as
it's
well.
so giant. It's so massive.
It's actually a pretty small turret.
Okay, you need to stop that.
It's relatively small. We'll think about like the T29, T34.
Fellatio, it's gonna go down pretty soon. In 1 second. And
They're shooting each other.
And
Blue base captured. Red team's able to take a T32 best tier 8 2013. Battle number 1, 2 battles away from joining us in the group play starting January 2nd. Will they change their name or will they keep it?
Some great stuff coming out of both teams, honestly. Edbot was covered a little bit in that 1390, but him taking a lot of damage in that beginning phase, or I guess the mid-game phase, proved to be a big problem. What happened after that? A 1390 simply went over to the west side. Yes, it was 2v1, but it's still a lot of shells that he's putting out, and killing Edbot was so important. It enabled the 1390 over on the east side then to take out some dude in his T69, and from there, they just start to converge. But it all started, cascaded down, domino fashion, with Edbot. That 1390 cannot be doing those type of scout runs all the way on the west side. They have to realize a T1 can be located over there. That's why you need to keep track of your opponent's T1s.
And Nine was in a good position to put a lot of damage against those T32s, softening the front line. But Agamemnon was in a great place to stop that. Nine had to reconsider his push, or at least his flank fire, and Agamemnon was able to hold back and not take too much damage himself. T32s were then able to push in, then Agamemnon went in for the sweep.
And I do have to say, great tanking overall by the 3 T32s on T32 Best Tier 8 2013. We saw just an HP advantage at the end, regardless of what happened in the beginning stages, and that is just with hold down position against hold down position. If you're able to take that high ground advantage, much easier shots onto your opponent's T32s because of that hatch. Shooting down into a T32's hatch is the way that you beat it.
Next battle is going to be on Himmelsdorf, battle number 2. But Randall, your thoughts overall on that first matchup?
T32 is being played better on the side of T32 Best Tier 8 2013. They played the same style, and you just had better tanking on the other side.
That's right. Well, Himmelsdorf's going to be the next map, as I mentioned previously. Are we going to see some T32s in this map, or is this going to be an IS-3 AMX 5100 play?
Come on, that's that's a little bit of a weighted question there, Clutch.
It's a lobbed question for you.
Yes, Clutch. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. We're going to see 3 IS-3s and 2 5100s on both these teams, most likely.
I actually could see maybe a T69.
Or 110.
Or 110, yeah.
110's not uncommon.
T69, some people say, why? Well, view range and finishing type moves a little bit faster than some of the other tanks.
I think view range is really hard to take advantage of. On Himmelsdorf, on Ensk, a little bit easier. Even on Ensk, I think there's ways to go around it. You know, view range is so important. We always talk about this on how being able to kite is really important against those heavy lineups that can't close the distance all that well. We saw this on the 3 line continuously throughout the qualifiers, where there are any sort of 3 line pushes, just the range of seeing your opponents coming is going to be able to defend against it, because then you have ample time to react. But on Himmelsdorf in particular, Tank Alley, a great place to just negate that view range. Even the hill to an extent. Of course, you can look directly across. There are some lines that you can take to negate that. And West play, I mean, just depending on your opponent's opening move, there are ways to go about that. That kind of negates that view range. So I feel overall, giving up that damage in the IS-3 or the 5100 for view range doesn't make a lot of sense on this map. I would have said yes with the T69 back in the day when it was 300 heat, but heat has just been delivered a serious nerf, and the 250 heat pen is just not enough.
Let's find out what's going to happen in battle number 2. 1 battle away after this, if this is a continued domination of T32 Best Tier 2013 versus Victoria's Secret. What do we have for tanks?
We have 2 5100s and 3 IS-3s versus 3 5100s and 2 IS-3s. So one side favoring the HP barely, but more so the tanking, right? It's always that spaced armor that you want to look at with the IS-3. That's in favor of Victoria's Secret. The extra 5100, you're saying I want that little bit more mobility, much more burst damage with the 5100, but that means positioning will be a lot more important. More so, positioning of all the tanks in the brawl.
Well, MFX is going to be leading the charge up into the window area along the G line. He's going to try to cover the rest of his teammates as he looks through the cracks, and this is going to be a courtyard play coming out of Victoria's Secret. T32 is going to see it as one of the IS-3s all the way up next to the wall, and they may get a couple good shots. They do get one against some dude cruising across the way. He's down to 1090, and he gets another hit from Explosion Man 007.
And I believe he had to burn his kit to continue across the middle of the field, so he's already had to burn that. That is huge for an IS-3. He wanted to save that for his ammo rack.
Okay, there we go. Tano Skywalker able to connect on Explosion Man, so kind of removes that difference, but I love this, really pushing it forward, knowing that 3 IS-3s against 2 IS-3s in the beginning stages, obviously 3 better than 2. But they have taken a shot now, 2 shots now, as a 5100 is in place. Velatio all the way down over here, able to put out shot. Oh no, Velatio down to 181, and he doesn't get around fast enough. Down he will go. Wow, that is a big loss right there.
That was a big loss for that 5100 to fall, and you usually want to focus on those first. The IS-3s can now be surrounded on both sides. The one factor is Upper Litchi up in the hillside, trying to focus on Tano Skywalker. The other IS-3s trying to hold the line against some dude in 9 as MFX and Empro push in for the cleanup kill here. Explosion Man super low on his IS-3, and he falls.
But here we go, Backstaz, back attack on 9. He's going to give a shot out onto some dude as well. 70 hit points. Sublime Banana is trying to be saved, but no, it will not happen. Backstaz, can he do it right now? 2 big shots onto him, though. Backstaz down to 143. He's being surrounded. Tano Skywalker there to help defend, and he's going to go down in a second.
Tano Skywalker gets the final kill against him. Upper Litchi is in the upper echelon of the map on the hillside, and he's going to have to stop 4 tier 8s and also 2 T1s going for the cap with 25 seconds left.
It's not going to happen. I mean, this is too big of a lead. Of course, Mpro's over here to defend his cap. These T1s will be cleaned up, but even if they just let it go, it's not going to be enough time. Mpro is so pro.
Mpro takes down Cool Hammer in the T1. Other T1s still going to be left alive for just 1 more second. Agamemnon falls to him. And that does it. Victoria's Secret is able to win out battle number 2, tying up the series 1-1.
Very, very well played by Victoria's Secret. The very, I guess, aggressive approach, taking out the center right away, claiming a lot of position, having IS-3s, frankly, caught out in a really bad position. Along with that, they had a 5100 going down Tank Alley. You do not want that to happen. You wait for the approach. Your 5100 is patient. You do not go to meet out with your 5100 on any circumstances. And then you had 5100s that were trying to go down lanes, but still you do need battle buddies with 5100s. You need 2 5100s together. You don't want one of them to be alone, because that that's a lot of time. You need to put out 5 shots or 6 shots on a single target in order to kill them. It's a lot easier to have only 2 or 3 shots being put out with 2 5100s. That way you can clean up tanks a lot faster. You need that burst kill very, very quickly.
Those IS-3s down the G line underestimated the amount of force that was going to be dropped upon them pretty much. And Upper Litchi was so far away on hill that he decided to commit for that one cracked opening. He did get a couple shots in, but it was too little too late, and for him to actually move down to help the rest of his teammates, that was way too big of a window for the rest of Victoria's Secret to clean up his friends.
Yeah, I do want to say, I mean, it's just an uncomfortable situation for T32 Best Tier 8 2013. There's not a lot they could have done. Yeah, 5100 play, they could have kind of altered it, but I have to say Victoria's Secret had a great attack right in the beginning. They read their opponents very perfectly. They saw what they did in the last series and said, hey, if you're going to do that very defensive football lineup, we're going to be a lot more aggressive. If you're putting 1 or 2 tier 8s over to the hill, we're going to have an overmatch. And this time, instead of going up the 3 line, we're not going to give you nearly as much time to counteract everything that's going on. We're going to immediately just brawl with your IS-3s and take the win right there, and that's exactly what they did.
And that's sometimes almost a random roll of which way you're going to
Yeah.
go. If one person goes hill and they go that way, you couldn't predict it. It's part of the game, too. It's part of the strategy.
It's an opening counter, but more importantly, it's a preparation counter, right? They're assuming you're going to do one of these sets of rolls, either northwest or northeast. That's what they did, northwest or northeast. They didn't commit fully to that football lineup.
That's right. And as a fan of football, Ruko can tell you, you Just don't go full football.
Who do you like? The Jets?
No, I'm a Bucks fan, sadly.
The Giants?
I said Buccaneers one day.
The Jets? That Pennington's really good these days. I think I'm living in the past.
Wow, Andre.
I'm a Seahawks fan, and they hardly win anything.
It's
They're
okay.
getting better. But
It's okay to root for a team that's bad.
I know.
It's
The Giants won, I think, like 1990 Super Bowl or something like that. They came to my high school, and it was Byron Hunt that came and spoke to us along with everybody else. But he was one of our main speakers, and he voiced to a huge crowd. I was part of the National Honor Society, where we do a lot of community service. And he said, okay, so now that we got everything cleared up for the event, it's a basketball event that we're going to do. It was going to be the teachers versus the ex-pros, the football pros in basketball. And he said, who here thinks that they could take me? Just like, boom, right here. You got nothing. Because, you know, I know martial arts, right? I know Kung Fu. Obviously, I can take him. I didn't realize how big he was. He's like, hey, let me see your leg real quick. So I show him. And you know, like, I have pretty massive legs. I'm able to hoist, like, laps onto my shoulders.
Yeah.
And he shows me his forearm, and it's just like, the size of my thigh. I was like,
David versus Goliath.
I don't think this is going to work out, Mr. Hunt.
We're currently tied up 1-1 between the two teams. T32 Best Tier 8 2013 versus Victoria's Secret on Mines. Let's jump to the battle.
Here we go. 5100, two T32s and two 1390s on the side of Victoria's Secret. A T32, two T69s, and two 1390s on the side of T32 Best Tier 8 2013. The 5100. What's up with that? It's going to be very defensive. Sticking it up on that, what is that line? A4? A3, A4? We shouldn't see super aggressiveness from Victoria's Secret. They're going to be, they kind of tell me they're not comfortable on this map by choosing a 5100.
Well, Andre, in perfect contradiction of you cast your curse, they're not saying the 5100 there.
We're
They're actually going to send them down the water line, down the one line. So this is an all right use. This is not. It's less common than that A4 position, but it could work out if they can get M-Pro into solid cover on a high ground.
And 9 is going to be pushing in, and first shots ring out, and they're a miss against 9 and Edbot. And Explosion Man 007 Coolhammer and his battle buddy in the T32 are going to be back there waiting for what kind of push the blue team is bringing. And they're going to get so much map control out of this.
I love this.
Well,
Victoria's Secret understands how they need to defeat this approach to mines. They need to begin very quickly or else they could run out of time. And they have to start that engagement very quickly.
All right, well, it is the Brawl 9 and Edbot against the other two 1390s, Explosion Man and Agamemnon. So far, it is going to 9 Edbot. They are trapped, though. I do want to say that. They can't really get out too well because there's a T32 and a T69 looking at their retreat path.
Agamemnon, though, takes a hit from the other side. Looks like they came from M-Pro, but M-Pro's getting focused from those T32s from far away, or at least from some red tank. And that's going to make him double think whether he should go in or not. Edbot gets another shot against Agamemnon. 9 cleans it up, and that's going to be tough for Explosion Man 007. He's not going to have enough shots to clean up both of these 1390s. There was a lot of misses going in between them, and that T32, however, is going to try to hold them back as maybe Explosion Man 007 can try to escape.
Yeah, I love this. So far, we saw a lot of that play. The T69 and the T32, as I was saying, was covering their retreat path, but it's just full-out brawl over on the bottom left. And at the meantime, complete center control has been given up. That's 4 tanks spotting the bottom left-hand corner of the map. That means there's at max 1 tank that can look over to the hill and say, yeah, I got this. That means very easy map control over to the side of Victoria's Secret. A great way, as you said, Rootkill, to play out this map.
9 jumped right in front of Edbot to try to absorb a shot from the T32. The shot did not happen, and now Edbot and 9 have fallen back into the water beach side just below H2. And Explosion Man is still spotted here from the proxy spotting of Edbot. Disruption way to the north did take a lot of damage in the T1, but he's going to swing all the way around to the water side at least to try to cover if there's any losses of tanks for scouting instances. 171 left on Explosion Man. 9 tries to get one more shot. Explosion Man's trying to hide in the cover.
9's a snaker, man. This guy has...
Well, but Edbot goes down to Explosion Man as he peeks out a little far, and Explosion Man is very well prepared for that.
Yeah, really nicely done. But still...
But well, 9 gets the kill.
Great job. Great job. And now, what advantage do we really see for T32 Best Tier 8 2013? Nothing. They lost center. They lost west side. They are completely defensive. And, well, they have view range, so they can play defensive pretty well. But
a 2-for-1. A 2-for-1 1390 fight.
That's
and
right.
You have 9 at a reasonable hit health range. He has 661 hit points. He can work with this. He can take a few hits still. He's not out of it yet. He doesn't have to... we don't have to baby this tank to try and keep it in the game.
Yeah.
He can still scout and do work.
Tano Skywalker and MFX giving T32 Best Tier 8 2013 a taste of their own medicine here with the T32s up on the hill. 9 in the 1390 is going to be over the lighthouse side. A lot of spotting going down, or peeing going down on the map here to find out where are these Tier 8 tanks. Because there is a 3 to 4 advantage going on in terms of Tier 8s, but there's only one T1 left alive on both sides. Baxtaz still has full health against Disruption. Disruption at less than 10%.
Most importantly, where is that 5100? What is he up to?
Empro went off the hill, and he's actually going to... Looks like he's going to head east.
Wow.
He's gonna actually try and clear out T1 Cunningham.
Makes a ton of sense.
Yeah. You could pull 1390 out, but they don't want to have a T1 hurt that 1390 at all. He's going to have a lot more trouble with the 5100.
Yeah.
Oh, a little bit, but...
They're just tightening the noose, right? They're taking more map control. They're realizing, okay, there's a single T1. Let's play this simple. We have 5 minutes and 30 seconds, plenty of time to just take more and more and more of the map to a point where they can't even aim at all the places in time to kill the tanks that they need to kill.
And it looks like they're actually going to take 9 to the east as well. Okay, so you have combined hill control and an east side push. That's what they're going for here. Because you have hill control, the east side is and it's a viable move because you have cover fire. If they did not control the hill, and you saw that control going to T32, for example, it would be a horrible move. Backstabs in the T1 has spotted shots go out, and there's a connection from Emperor predicting that T1 position and then using 9 to spot it out.
Very cool stuff. And now guns are pointing there. 5 minutes left, 4 minutes 50 seconds. I wouldn't be surprised if the 1390 just does a complete rotation over to the west side now.
But Velatio is spotted crossing in the open. He does move towards the east, and he's taking hits from the T32s. These guys are loading the 105s. Not the best DPM, but they are just hitting him so hard it might not even matter. He does get to the rock, though. Velatio may be safe, and Uperlichi is now spotted.
It's the punch that matters, and the T32s are punching the face of Velatio as he tries to move away. Uperlichi takes another hit, 754 to 1350 on his tank, and that T69. And now all the blue team has to do, Victoria's Secret, is push in. The 5100 is going to go for a reload. After his reload, all the tanks here, I believe, are going to push in for the kill on all the sides.
Yep, and they can actually realize that, hey, it's 2 T69s. That's a lot of burst right there, but it's not enough shells to actually kill these T32s that fast. I mean, there's 2 T32s, all full life. There's Empro that has...
Well, a good focus fire could bring this back into the game.
It could, but you also have a 1390 that's going to be on your tail. You have the 5100 that you need to take care of, and then consistent fire. It's all going to punish as soon as it's done reloading Velatio down to 602 hit points. That's a very easy, consistent fire tank to deal with, or even not to deal with. Take out the T69s, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Tano's going for this setup along the lighthouse. He's going to cruise to the south and then push in east to west. That's going to cause some good turret breaks. A 3-pronged attack coming from the center, the west, and the east. 1390 is going to be on the east side as well with the 5100. The other T32 on the mine side. He's pinging, telling him to get ready, and telling him to move to the south there from the towards the beachhead to kind of help him with that push.
And then what they're doing here by doing that turret break is reducing the amount of burst to a single tank. If 3 tanks are coming at you from 3 different angles, they're all going to spread out the damage rather than focusing on one. So it makes a lot of sense to bring a T32 out here. I would have loved the 1390 instead because it's a lot faster to do that, but still, I mean, the T32, if they can get it over there in time, hey,
well,
by all means.
The 1390 is a little bit pinned, and T32 is spotted out.
Okay, it's taking a little bit of damage here. A lot of damage. Tano Skywalker! Ah!
Shots hit rock. He may be able to survive if he can get into cover, but
nope.
He will not.
Okay, well, I guess I was wrong, and T32 doing that run doesn't work out all too well.
Just great view range from American tanks.
They need the 1390 to do that, huh?
Well,
yeah, it probably would have been successful.
Yeah, they need to push in now. T69 sees a 1390. Shot's going to fire first from 9. Velatio's going to try to hit 9. Empro with the 5100 cruise in for the final kill against the T32. At least trying to. The T69 follows Velatio. does fall to M-Pro, and now Cool Hammer, the only one left alive in his T69, is going to be on the run. He's taking a lot of damage here. Now they need to either get on the flag cap or destroy that T69. They're running out of time with 1 minute and 52 seconds, but still plenty of time to make something happen.
Yeah, they got plenty of time. And now, Cool Hammer doesn't even have enough shells to take an M-Pro or 9. And this T32 MFX is just going to go in further and further. That's his last shell, I believe. And now he's reloading.
There's actually time left in the battle. If he gets 2 clips off, he could kill all 3 of these traits. This is just theoretical.
Yeah, you're right.
And that would require some intense play and huge mess-ups by the side of Victoria's Secret.
Yeah.
But it could be done.
Disruption. Get in. That's what I'm talking
M-Pro in the 5100 going to go for the ram against Cool Hammer. And he does only 265 damage, but it turns Cool Hammer around. Cool Hammer gets a kill in the 5100. And with 1 minute and 10 seconds, they're going to have to get the kill here. It's getting a little bit close.
Oh, okay, Cool Hammer.
Sick plays.
Okay, Cool Hammer. And now you need to dodge, dip, dive, and dodge.
And duck.
No.
He doesn't duck.
That's
what I missed. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I forgot to tell you to duck. He did not duck.
Victoria's Secret closes it out 2-1 so far on the match score victory. They only need one more battle left in order to become the 16th team to join us in group play.
Victoria's Secret looks sexy, man. That's what it comes down to.
They are modeling
sexy.
the T32
Not just
well.
modeling, super modeling. Have you ever seen them?
Yeah.
They're absolutely stunning.
Except a lot of them should eat a cookie at least one or two.
A cookie for their strength, right?
Well, yeah.
I mean, you're in these brawls. You have to.
You can't look brittle. You can't look brittle.
Well, T32 is not brittle.
No matter how well the armor fits your body. You
exactly.
can't be brittle.
That's why they don't bring WC-132s. That's for sure. They bring 1390s.
That's the super high class fashion.
Yeah, 1390s have a lot more burst.
You can turn very well on a runway in a WC-132.
You can, but sometimes you just want that power, that fieriness.
That's right.
And Victoria's Secret brought it.
Pep in the step. So, looking at the T32 play, MFX was 4 for 5 on his team. And the other T32, Tano Skywalker, 1 for 2. Well, guys, you absorbed a lot of shots.
That's how far ahead they were, though.
I know. So far ahead in the meta. They're not even landing a lot of their shots. But it all came down to M-Pro, 10 for 14. Jeez, a lot of drums for him.
Well, I think the real skill in this overall battle came down to the 2v2 1390 fights. I mean, a lot of very unfortunate misses, I would say, to begin with a T69, T32, and even two T69s trying to gun down those two 1390s. They weren't able to do it on the cross from the lighthouse to the island. But from there, I felt like 9 and who was the other guy? Edbot just played so beautifully. How can you do that? You have low ground and you aggress up onto two 1390s when you realize you have no retreat and are able to make your shots count and you get the win. That is some impressive tanking from the Victoria's Secret.
It is, and we have to see impressive tanking from both these teams to find out who's going to be joining us in group play starting January 2nd. Quick reminder for everyone, too, today is the final day to sign up for the Open League. Qualifier rounds begin Monday, December 16th. That's tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. The Open League Winter 2014 rounds will occur every Monday and Friday. Once again, every Monday and Friday from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, beginning December 30th. Other than the Gold League qualifiers, which you're watching the finals right now, the only way into Gold League is to work your way up from Open League through Bronze and Silver. Go to worldoftanks.com, click on Tournaments, and then click on the Tournaments tab next to News, scroll down to Open Qualifiers, and click Participate. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain, and possibly a chance at winning over $100,000 in the prize pool. At least, well, $100,000 in the prize pool. Here we also have
over the $100,000.
We have like MVP awards and other things we've been giving out in our awards ceremony as well. So those team members have taken home a little bit of chunk of change, which is very nice. Not just gold.
A lot of bit of chunk of change.
What was it, 5K for MVP, I believe?
I think it was reduced a little bit because we spread it out over other awards.
That's true. Season 1 it was 5K.
But Season 1 it was 5K, yeah.
$5,000.
What would you do with $5,000?
Put it in my savings account and then turn on this money, this money account in the savings. If I have at least $2,500, the interest is accrued higher, so I would do that. I actually could have done that, but I spent way too much money in Vegas and Korea on my trips. So,
well, is your bank account 0?
No.
Well, it sounds like, is it negative?
No.
It sounds like you
It's
didn't
fine.
spend enough.
It's fine. It's I better have enough money to pay off my student loans that are coming in even more now.
Those are brutal.
All right, guys, this is battle number 4. It's going to take place on Cliff. Who's going to take it? Victoria's Secret to win it out, or can T32 Best Trade 2013 tie up the series? Let's find out.
5100, T32, T69, 21390s on Victoria's Secret side. Favoring that 5100 yet again, M-Pro. We always see him constantly. What do the other team have? The same lineup. Instead of that 5100 though, they have the T32. Important to note, all of them have that 105 millimeter. You know, I'm gonna go to it again. I feel like the 90 mil is a lot better in this case, especially because it's so mobile. We'll find out 2 1390s for both these teams means we can have that same 2v2 yet again. Explosion Man and Agamemnon. Where are they gonna go? Are they going west side, or are they staying in the center?
You know, Andre, as you talk about the 105 and the 90, I was trying to think about this because I saw it in previous maps, them bringing 105s, and I was trying to think of why. And I get the con of the less accuracy, but I think maybe these guys are saying we can make the shots, and when we actually make these shots, we want to hit harder.
Yep.
Because reload is almost a non-factor when you're playing hull down games. You're going to pop up, you're going to pop back down, you're going to wait for your reload, and get back into the fight.
Agamemnon taking a lot of damage in beginning stages. He's not going to be pushed on, but he does get a big hit, 867 out of 1100. But they see 2 1390s in the center of the map. They know that Explosion Man has a big advantage in that he has that extra lane of crossfire. Now, we saw this actually come to win the game last time around. Is it going to happen over here?
2 shots jittering out towards Edbot, but one landed into the side of the mountain, one flew over. But when 9 pushed in, it was coming from the other side.
Ooh.
Explosion Man got the hit. Now some dude, 904, takes a shot into his T69. And here comes Coolhammer up to the top here, trying to stop 9 and Edbot.
And it looks like they were prepared for Explosion Man to pop out, and he will take hits, getting whack-a-mole back down. 811 hit points for him.
It's only 1 shot, though. And this is a very uncomfortable situation if I am Victoria's Secret. They have what seems like 4 tanks over here in the center, all grouped up in E5 to about C7, but
Explosion Man gets
E6.
a free shot onto some dude.
And no, they confirmed all 5 tanks, so they're going to go for 9 down to 559. Are they going to converge? Agamemnon taking the high ground. 9 down to 324. And Coolhammer trying to get the closing blow, but he constantly misses. Some dude down to 444.
Agamemnon maybe trying to stay out a couple shots. Coolhammer down, and he falls to M-Pro. Bavlacio takes down some dude, trading blows on tier 8s on both sides. And now the HP value is starting to go in the favor. Well, it's kind of balanced between both teams, but Edbot has not taken any damage on his 1390 yet.
It's just straight up corner games. Great shot onto 9, poking out a little bit. Bavlacio taking that kill as well. 2 T32s, full life, in a great position, trying to just bear down onto Tano Skywalker and M-Pro. Can they use that 5100? I'm saying no. They need a lot more time with him. They need a lot more space with him. They don't have any of that. It's two tier 8s just stuffed into this corner that cannot move.
GLM now falls to Uber Litchi in the T1. He's going to have that entire western side completely open to him to get to that flag cap. And it's 3 tier 8s versus 4 tier 8s on the side of the red team. T32 that is in the advantage. And M-Pro takes a lot of shots here in his 5100, but he's peeking around the corner saying, charge, go for it. And he gets the kill against the 1390, and now he's peeking across the way against the T32. Bavlacio trying to follow him. M-Pro actually misses a shot, and Bavlacio allows Agamemnon to try to get the kill. Tano Skywalker falls, but Edbot takes down Agamemnon. And now Edbot's on the run, and T32, it looks like they're going to tie up the series.
Yes, they
Look
are.
at that trick shot.
Yes, they are. This is the last fight, or last tank right here. And a great execution of how you employ that west control. You start to tighten the noose, you give your opponents no space to work with, and you get to basically put whatever shells of your opponent into whatever tanks that you want. They were able to spread out the damage much better. Their 1390s, their T69s coming in from a better angle, and from there, it's all formality, honestly.
Formality is sometimes the best way to put it right there, but the T32 is performing very well again. Bavlacio with the top damage.
Oh, baby.
8 for 10, 2,351. He was hit 6 times with 3 non-penetrating shots, so he stayed alive for a while. The next one that did a lot of damage, his other T32 counterpart, 6 for 8. Explosion Man from far away in the 1390, 8 for 9. Landing those hits and being a little bit patient around that corner game And for those long-range shots, Explosive Man did take a couple shots when he turned that corner, but that made those turrets point that way and focus that way, leaving the corner game open.
Point that way, and most importantly, force the hand. It's either you move forward or you back up completely, and with a 5100, it's a very awkward tank to be mobile, right? To have that flip of the switch. Maybe if it's Ensk, yes, you can do it because it's flat terrain, but going up that hill, going down the hill, you're putting yourself out there to be gunned down very fast. And they're going to look at that opportunity with the 5100 not having good hold down. Not hold down, not having, well, they don't, but not having good depression. That 5100 is going to be eliminated so fast. Yes, it's a lot of firepower to have, but it cannot be used in that fashion. The T32 is coming into effect. I mean, you saw multiple things. Showing the two 1390s in the center of the map, though, I think that gave perfect play out to Explosion Man, who was just able to start the win, honestly. He was able to say, okay, I have complete West control. Let's take my time, get the right shots, and he did. 7 out of 8.
Ents the next battle. Randall, both teams here one battle away from making it to the finals. Is this going to be the temptation of playing defensive of both teams?
I think we're going to see an IS-6. That's my prediction. When I saw Ensk, I immediately thought, Felicio will pick an IS-6. If he doesn't, I don't know why, because he made quite an argument to me in favor of the IS-6. Huh? He thinks he can play it better on this map than IS-3 players. We'll have to see when they pick the tanks, because picking has started. And in a moment, we will get to see exactly what they have. If they bring that IS-6, has better DPM at the sacrifice of, we all agree, we think that IS-3 is superior armor, and also the
penetration.
Gun, the penetration, also the gun settles faster.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Soviet will agree with you there. He loves the IS-3.
It's the best spaceship.
But I mean, in a lot of these cases, you're only looking at for IS-3 or IS-6 because they have the very similar roles. You're looking at a plus or minus maybe 10% efficiency either way, and 10% is going to be a huge outlier in my opinion. So they're going to perform pretty similarly. Overall, IS-6 is going to get into that brawly position. IS-3 is going to get into that brawly position. A lot of times armor won't matter, so maybe the IS-3 doesn't matter as much. That's where DPM comes into factor. But then you have those alpha situations where the IS-6 is not going to be nearly as effective. So we do have these situations. It's how do they really have their game plan? What is their game plan? How are they going to initiate? How do they conquer that 6th line? Because that's an important place to really start the map.
Railroad tracks could be a definitive battle cry, really, from these teams.
Oh, yeah.
And unfortunately, what happens a lot of times is that if it's scouted early on with the longer view range of some of the tanks that's chosen, they wait for the bottleneck, and once it happens, they pounce on them at the end, especially when it comes down to the south. We're going to find out, ladies and gentlemen, who's going to be joining us in group play between these two teams in battle number 5 on Ensk. T32 Best Tier 8 2013 versus Victorious Secret.
You're absolutely right, Rukil. We do have that IS-6 from Valacia over here, along with 2 IS-3s and 2 5100s on the side of T32 Best Tier 8 2013. On the other side, Victorious Secret is sporting the 110 of 5100, 2 IS-3s and a Pershing. The Pershing obviously has less burst, less damage than those IS-3s that are going to be right in your face. The Brawl will go in advantage for the IS-6 over the Pershing, but that view range is going to help out, as we were talking about, on that 6th line. Let's see if they even contest that. A lot of times you can just stay in, I would say, the north block, south block. You can take those positions pretty fast and just say, okay, yeah, you have the 6th line, but if we get a really fast engagement here, we might be able to just not give you an angle with that Pershing.
Well, some dude will look down the 6th line, and it doesn't look, he doesn't see anything quite yet.
He won't. He won't see anything.
Oh, where is T32 then?
They're all in the south block right now. And they are putting up Cool Hammer over in the east side. And as you can see, Sublime Banana moving very aggressively up into the north block. This is going to give them indicators to know, hey, it's okay to push out. It's going to look down this line, see the IS-3 being played by Tano Skywalker, and back it out. So, do we have any mobilization? They need to be careful because there could have been some very aggressive play on the 6th line. Where, you know, potentially that Pershing has moved down a little bit, but that's very uncommon. I'm talking about the, you know, the F line, maybe even the E line.
I just noticed something. MFX in the 110 has the 122 on his 110. That's very odd. It fires. This is a gun I don't like, actually. It fires heat. Is just, it's a little, it's like the IS-3's gun, it just doesn't perform nearly as well. And that's a gun I don't agree with. This is one I had to look up and just to verify. It was like, yeah, this is a cool gun. It fires heat, it does great damage, it's got good DPM. The problem is it just doesn't perform, I don't think, as well as the IS-3's gun.
Right now, they do see 2 tanks so far. 9 and Tano Skywalker have been revealed in terms of tier 8. They kind of know the approximate positions. Explosion Man taking a little bit of damage here. He's going to back out. How did he get damaged?
I couldn't tell. I know some dude is the one that pushed the furthest down to the south here, down the railroad line, but he did not have a hit. At least there was a giant building in the way from that shot. So from the blue team, I did not see a shot ring out from any of these guys yet, but obviously it did land.
All right, crossing into the north block. Pershing is going to see this coming. Shots go out. IS-6 will bounce. There you have it. IS-6 knows what's up. MFX going to miss a shot as well on Explosion Man. And he's going to bounce that. But they see the 110, and he is crouched behind that wall now.
Some dude is going to stay in one position to try to get a shot on Agamemnon. He fires, and he actually takes down Sublime Banana in the T1. And Agamemnon did cross over the threshold, and now the IS-6 pushing across the way into the breach against Victoria's Secret.
9 and Valacio going to trade shots, but both of them aren't going to penetrate. 9 is down to 1078 though after Explosion Man in a great position. Actually,
but the flank by Tano Skywalker and Empro will take down Explosion Man, and then they will be able to take down Valacio.
Oh, great job! And now Tano Skywalker is going to be in a good position. The 5100 is going to wrap around yet again and try to get back shots. In the meantime, 9 goes down to the IS-6, and Valacio still staying alive against MFX in his 110.
That Pershing was trying to push in across the south for a flank of his own, but he's not going to have enough DPM to try to take care of the rest of these tanks. Surround still happening, though. Agamemnon in the IS-3 going to get a shot on Tano. Tano focusing on Valacio. It looks like it was a miss coming out of one of the tanks, and now 2 big hits. Upper Litchi, the 5100, turning around for the cleanup against Tano. Empro trying to block it in the 5100, and Upper Litchi tries to get the shot. Block shot again from Empro. Agamemnon trying to block for Valacio. He does. Backstracks the 5100 coming across the other way. Upper Litchi still pushing against the Empro, and Agamemnon goes for the ram damage. It's a little bit, not enough, but Empro is in some trouble, and it looks like T32 is going to get some cleanup here. They were able to stop the counter-aggression and the counter-flank with a flank of their own, and Agamemnon in the IS-3 is about ready to get that last shot into Empro.
I mean, this really shows you the power and the switch that they can have with just straight-up IS-3s, IS-6s, and 5100s over that Pershing. The Pershing not able to do nearly as enough damage, not fast enough, and also the positioning made such a big difference. Now it is only 1 tier 1 left, and that is Disruption. Beautifully played by T32, best tier 8 2013. They deserve this win over here on Ensk. I am so sad for Victoria's Secret as they played well throughout the entire qualifiers, both 1 and 2, but they're going to fall short again in qualifiers number 2.
T32, best tier 8 2013 is the final team to join us in the best 16 teams in North America for group play beginning January 2nd. A great series to end the qualifiers, a great series to behold. T32, no cons, but once again a team led by Valacio, or at least Valacio. Is he the leader of the team, I believe?
I've been told he's the leader of the team.
That's what I've been told as well.
Yeah.
So he performed very well during the series along with his teammates. But
let's take a look at this.
Go ahead,
I mean, we're going to go to the Pershing some dude. I really feel like Pershings do not belong on this map and do not belong on Himmelsdorf. It just doesn't. Okay, I understand the 6th line, but it's so difficult to really get that good crosshair and at the same time put out enough damage. That means your battle has to last a long time. 115 damage being done. That's against a T1. He did 0 damage against any tier 8. Then we have the IS-3s getting shut down incredibly fast. MFX, 4 shots fired, 429 damage being done. That means he only penetrated once. And the MVP, we're going to take a look at that IS-6. 1,900 damage, almost 2,000 damage being done, and 2,400 potential damage. This is a case where I feel like a lot of players didn't know how to penetrate the IS-6 correctly. It can have...
Valacio did play it so well, though.
I agree. I really do. But I think the IS-6 can have some... No, let's go ahead and play that. The IS-6 can have some very sharp angles, especially on the side. But overall, I have to say 2,400 hit points. That is going to be misplayed.
Yeah, there were some very crucial bounces. Even one we noticed that went into a wall. Valacio did very well positionally. That's something I noticed that he was doing. He was paying attention in the brawl to always be positioning his
Look
tank.
at that. Beautiful.
Isolation. Beautiful isolation from this team. And target firing that tank and listen, we know you're low, and then look
that
at
track shot. That track shot right there delayed him long enough for Velatio to get himself into position, and without that, there's a dead eye as 6. There's a possibility of coming back in that fight. This was a great example also of them breaking out of a position they were surrounded, and there's you see him reverse angling.
Beautifully done.
Getting to finish off.
Just beautifully done. And, you know, it's a 4v5 as well, guys. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Pershing, not the best for brawling.
Well, he wasn't even in the fight for most of that.
That's right.
He just was out of position on that 6 line.
It was dead.
Yeah.
It was dead. And that's what I was talking about. The Pershing, yes, it controls the 6 line, but if you're controlling the 6 line, you can't take all the way over on the position of the 1 line, the 2 line. You can't look to have those sweep arounds. Yes, it's a great crossfire. Yes, you're going to get back shots, but you're so far away from the Pershing, you're basically saying, hey, you don't have very fast fire, you don't have good burst damage, but I'm going to make you come to us and then fight. Doesn't make a lot of sense. You absolutely have to fight. If you're going for a Persian, you have to be fighting on the 5-4-3 line. 3 line max, but you cannot have any tanks over the 1-2 line.
Well, that does it for the qualifiers, ladies and gentlemen. A huge congratulations to T32 Best Tier 8 2013. And also a big congratulations to Victoria's Secret. They made it so far once again, but this is a team to watch out for any league they sign up for. And I have a pretty good feeling that if they stick with it, Season 4, we're going to see them in group play. We want to thank our sponsors, Azo Monitors, available at Amazon.com, Kingston, Alienware, and Razer. Going down the line, Randall, final thoughts.
Fantastic play, especially in our last match. I love both these teams, and I'm so proud of T32 Best Tier 8 for making it into our league. Thank you, guys.
Yep. I want to thank you guys because I feel like this is the dream team. It's always been fun casting with both of you. This is, as we've said, my last cast here, but hopefully not going to be the last cast for us 3. I foresee a future. Hopefully. I'm crossing my fingers. I also want to thank you guys out there. Without the support of, obviously, the World of Tanks community, we would not be in this position. We realized that there was a barrier to enter, and you guys were more than helpful. I mean, you guys really made it super easy. You were very positive about it for the most part, and your pro players, God, are they some intelligent human beings that are just so caring about this product and putting it all together. I want to have just a special thanks to all the pro players out there that helped us out a ton. It's just been a ton of fun, a great adventure, and hopefully that this won't be our final goodbye, just a temporary one.
Hopefully. Well, from starting out World of Tanks to knowing that Randall's going to be here and all the different hats that you've worn over the number of years as a professional player and also as a commentator and a segment producer and a writer and a statistician and being involved in so many different things and seeing you being completely enraptured in everything that was esports and so passionate about what you did. You were an inspiration here at the office, and it's going to be really tough to say goodbye, but we know there's even more things to come out of Greetorp and his brand and his style and his personality in the future. And for me, man, it's going to be really hard to say goodbye to you because it's been it's not going to be the same without you, and I'm already tearing up. So thank you so much for being part of the dream team here for World of Tanks and for everything else. So that does it, guys, for everyone here at Hero Level Productions. Thanks so much for tuning into the qualifiers for World of Tanks Season 3 for the Gold League. We will see you January 2nd. Stay tuned for more World of Tanks action then for group play. For all of us here at Hero Level Productions, good night.